live. I didn't even realize we're live. Hey, everyone. Welcome to a Friday edition of Command Your Morning. Welcome, everybody. I'm Nick Baldwin. We got Caryn Prawl here. We are live on a Friday. If you're the 100th caller, just kidding. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm doing like a, oh, am I supposed to pay attention to that you have some song playing? I don't know.
Okay.
This song's not exciting. This song is not pumping me up on a Friday.
Are you kidding me?
I just want like I need upbeat. I need, maybe some 90s hip hop on a Friday to get the morning going. I know when we bring our guest on, he's gonna agree with me on that. I mean, like or 70s hip hop, whatever.
70s disco. Okay.
Our guest, by the way, hold on a second. I'm talking. Our guest just requested when we bring him on, he needs Macklemore.
Do you know what? Oh, I do love him. I do love Macklemore.
Can you queue up Macklemore so when we bring our guest on?
It'll be next on the playlist. Coming
up this hour, we got Macklemore.
Do you know what song is your wife's song?
What? I'm gonna talk like a radio host the whole time. What's my wife's song, Caryn? What's my wife's song? Yeah, that is actually 100% true. That is my wife's song.
I will survive.
Being married to me every day, she's like, okay, I will survive this day. I will survive this day.
Listen, your wife, that picture of her and your two boys is just, you better print that in black and white, the most precious thing.
It is a very cute picture. And it's very hard to find a bad picture of my wife because she just looks amazing in every photo. Like
it is. She looked like a catalog model for like fresh and young mother.
Well, my wife did swimsuit. She did swimsuit modeling when like.
Of course she did.
Well, she went to FIT.
Oh, she did? I didn't know she went to FIT.
Yes, he majored in fashion and merchandising. But she did do swimsuit modeling.
Jesus, how did you get her?
How did I get her? I mean, have you met me?
Okay. All right, listen. What do we need to talk about today? Because I haven't talked to you all week because I had Karina in town. And
here's the thing. I have a bone to pick with you. Karina Loken comes to visit you. First of all, you don't invite me. I live 3 hours away from you or whatever it is. You don't invite me. Second, my wife, Ann, is watching. She's like, you really need to tell people about this? And I was like, yes, because you still look amazing. You look as beautiful as the day we met. I tell her all the time.
Ridiculous.
So anyway,
that's amazing.
What?
Tell me, go back to being mad at me as usual.
Yeah, I'm mad at you because first of all, you didn't tell me that you had Karina Loken coming to stay with you. I live like 3-4 hours away. We totally could have taken a road trip. My job, I can do from anywhere in the world. That's why I'm going to get Canadian citizenship and move up there. But I was also going to say was, hold on a second. I'm not done being mad at you. You had Karina Loken at your house. Not only did you not tell me, but that's the reason why we haven't spoken all week. Okay, fine. I get it. It's all good.
So I would appreciate you coming from curiosity and staying in culture, Nick. Because first of all,
you have to start with this. Nick, can I coach you for a minute?
Nick, the culture is really important to us, and I need to have a conversation with you about coming from curiosity.
Caryn, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Caryn, for bringing
to feedback. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how honest can I be with you? You froze up again.
That's what Josh said to me last week when we got a call.
You were frozen for a second. Turn your phone off. Turn your phone off.
I'm going to connect my computer to my other Wi-Fi signal.
Okay, Grooves. All right.
Josh said to me when I talked to him on the phone the other day, he's like, because I was talking about something and he goes, Nick, can I say something that you're probably not going to like?
How could you be mad at Josh Team though in that face? Like, is it such a sweet face?
Yeah. He goes, I'm going to say something you like, and then I'm going to tell you a few things that you're not going to want to hear. Is that okay? I'm like, sure, Josh.
I mean, when someone says that to you, not even like the president of the company, but like, did your stomach just like flip?
What?
When he's like, I'm going to say something you're not going to want to hear.
Well, nobody likes to hear things that they don't want to hear, but when the president of your company tells you, because I love Josh because I was having a problem and I wanted his advice, and he's like, okay, I'm going to tell you. So I
Can
explained
we
it.
all call Josh for advice?
I'm sure if you email him, he will give you advice. But my point is, like he said, I'm going to tell you something that you're going to agree with, and then I'm going to tell you a few things that you're not going to agree with. Is that okay? He's like, I'm going to tell you a few things that you're not going to want to hear. And it was great. Like he coached the crap out of me. I loved it.
That's so nice to have that.
But
so can
you
I?
have to, that's what you have to do. That's what KW people do. They go, Caryn, do you mind from what you're saying? Do you mind if I coach you on that for a minute? And then I'm supposed to say, now after you say that, I'm supposed to say, thank you so much for saying that.
My husband tells me to stop coaching him. So then I had to hire someone else to coach him. So Karina, I got a good glimpse of like what it's like to be around me. And boy, I am literally exhausted.
From Karina?
Because it was a good like measure. I called my husband and apologized. I'm like, I'm exhausting. I'm so sorry, Joel.
So she was exhausted from being around you for a whole week?
She was around me for 2.5 days and not exhausted from being around me. It was vice versa. That girl can stay up late, and I am not a stayer up or later.
You're not a stayer up or later person?
No. No.
Julie Youngblood's watching. She goes, my kids tell me that Mom stopped coaching me. Once in a while, Anne will say, I don't need your KW coaching right now, Nick. I just need you to listen. And I'm like, and I don't even realize I'm doing it.
Well, this brings up a big issue. Like I'm interviewing leadership candidates right now, right? And I said, I need to talk to your spouse or partner because I need to know they have on board. Like when you are going, because KW is such a personal growth company that when you are in a relationship, you got to make sure they're going to get on the ride with you.
That's true. And over the last like 2 years since I moved here and took on the TL position and now this tech position, it definitely like I'm definitely like learning a lot about staying more positive and not allowing things that are out of my control to bother me. I mean, sometimes obviously it gets the best of us, but that's really like that's really the best thing that you can do for yourself, honestly.
Totally. It is. It's nice. And so like Joel at first wasn't super on board and then he saw that I was becoming more confident in who I was. And so it super duper helped. Are you going to the lake this weekend?
I am not going to the lake. And my wife, I'm not going to the lake this weekend because Levi is having his first communion this weekend. But
wait, you're Catholic?
No, my wife's Catholic and my kids are Catholic. Yeah.
Oh, your kids are. Okay. I was like, I'm a little confused right now.
Yeah, I'm Jewish, but we brought up our kids Catholic because, sorry, Anne is Catholic and practicing, and I'm like Jewish, right?
Anne, this is for you, Anne.
Yeah. So Anne just said in the chat. Meanwhile, I try to coach Nick on something and he doesn't listen, but then someone else tells him the same thing, and it's like, oh my God, the best thing he's ever been told.
And that's called being married. Like for 20 years, I swear to God, my husband's like, hey, this house we used to have in Fritch, Texas. And he'd say, we should take the extra brick and make this front thing. And I would say, no, Joel, that's so stupid. That's so stupid. I didn't say that to him because we don't talk like that to each other. But I did say, and then like 5 years later, I'm like, hey, babe, we should take that. And he's like, which is all the time. I mean, we don't listen to the person who's closest to us, I'm quite sure. Or do we?
No, here's the thing. I listen to Anne. She has great ideas and she's 99.9% right most of the time. I think that also when you're married that was an echo. I think that when you're, because legit, like, honestly, like Anne is my best friend. I'm not saying that to be like cheesy, but I think when you're, why am I echoing on your side?
No, I was going to respond to Wendy Patton. Yes, Michael Perna is coming on, but I didn't know how to respond.
By turning it up. You can just type it in.
It did it as soon as I went to hit reply.
Oh, I gotcha.
So I can't do that anymore.
My point was when someone very close to you tells you something, usually they do it in a very passionate way. So sometimes it's hard to hear, right? I mean, and by the way, that's why I like
It's
If my wife tells me something and then I go to my therapist and my therapist tells me something, I'm like, oh my God, my therapist told me. And she's like, that's what I've been telling you for years. I'm like, yeah, but my therapist told me. So no,
it's hard to hear it when from the people you respect the most, actually.
True that. True that. But
Okay.
what do you have going on this
Let's
weekend?
move on
Then
to
we'll bring on our
someone.
guest.
What?
What are you doing this weekend? Then we'll bring on our guest.
I'm having a breakfast with Marcus Rembert. He's on our equity task force. He and his wife, we are writing a curriculum to teach other market center ownership groups to understand diversity and anti-racism and stuff. So we have a meeting tomorrow morning.
What time's that at?
Why? Do you want me to Zoom it?
Yeah, I love when you do those. They're really good.
We're doing it like we're doing like a meeting to roll out the curriculum that she wrote. She's a college professor and stuff. She's really smart. This weekend, and then I plan on like poking around my house and not doing a whole lot actually.
So John Schumacher said unsolicited advice frequently offered equals less perceived value. But see, I disagree in a sense where if it's your wife or your spouse or your husband, you kind of married into unsolicited advice no matter what. Like, and it's not necessarily unsolicited because you've chosen to be with that person. And so your life is their life and your problems are their problems.
Yeah, take that, regional director Schumacher. That's what he makes me call him now. It's not John, it's not Shoes, it's regional director Schumacher.
Regional director. But John, if it's someone who's like not close to you or in your family or someone on Facebook, yes, 100%. But if it's like someone you're close to and it's a family member or a husband or wife or a girlfriend, boyfriend, I don't think it's ever unsolicited because their life is your life and everything you share with each other. But yeah, like John, if posted on Facebook and you were like here's the thing, my kid has Tourette's and everybody says, have you tried essential oils? Oh my God, you just cured Tourette's syndrome. Thank you so much for that unsolicited advice. All right, so
I gotta play my song. His song.
Oh, bring it on, and I'll bring.
Can we go thrift shopping?
What?
Why can't I bring Mike on?
What?
You can do it. I can do it.
It's not working. Oh, you're the host. You have to do it.
What?
Mike, turn on your camera and your microphone, bro. This is Zoom.
There we go. We go. That's
Thank
working.
goodness he's wearing pants today.
I am wearing pants. True story.
Looking for a color. This is fucking awesome. Walking to the club like, what up? I got a big cock.
I think I should have been a DJ. Perna!
Absolutely.
Mikey,
How you guys doing?
Mikey. I'm going to call you Mikey.
Mikey likes it. Absolutely.
Have you ever seen the movie Life with Mikey with Michael J. Fox?
No, but I'm writing that down.
Don't need to. It's fine.
No, it's
Isn't that bad?
it's a cute movie. I love it. It's on Disney
It's
Plus.
cute if you're 6 years old.
Yeah. Huh. What was the one where he was the doctor? Like
Doc Hollywood.
Doc Hollywood.
Doc Hollywood. That's it.
I love that movie.
Doc Hollywood is about to make a
movie.
resurgence because all these people are going to move to the country. They don't want to go to offices. So home visits are going to be a lot more. I'm telling you, it's going to come back. I'm calling it now.
I'm going to watch Doc Hollywood this weekend. Thank you for
That's what I'm watching. Absolutely. Thanks,
I want to
guys.
introduce our guest. The fact that he's here is enormous. I mean, this guy is so hard to get a hold of. He is an enormously huge, gargantuan, mega, amazing, huge, one of the biggest, huge, enormous mega agents. The fact that he was on Gary's top 100 call yesterday, the fact that we can get him after that is like, I can't even believe it. Mike Perna, everybody. Mike Perna.
Complete fake news. I think the text came in like, it was like 8 o'clock. He's like, hey, what are you doing tomorrow at 8:30? I'm like, nothing. What are you doing? He's like, I'm doing a show. You're going to be on.
I texted him like, are you free at 8:30 in the morning? He's like, yeah. I'm like, cool.
No, we can only go get people from the Eastern time zone now. It's just kidding because Nick has a limiting belief that people from the West Coast don't want to be on the show, although we've had like Julie and Ashley and other people. So what he's trying to say is Tristan doesn't want to get up to do it.
Tristan doesn't.
That's exactly right.
100% true. Tristan does not want to get up. Tristan likes his sleep. And then when he sleeps, he sleeps. And when he works, you know? And he's got little kids and stuff. He's got little kids, right? So it's like he wakes up, and really the only time I think he has with his kids is like right in the morning. So I don't want to like. He already works too much. I don't want to get him in front of the computer earlier than he needs to be. I'm helping him. And not
But it's like 6 a.m. there. He could get up, do the show, get another hour of sleep, and then the kids get up.
Yeah.
Michael, can you tell us who you are, what you do? I mean, like we know who you are, but
Yeah, Mike, can you tell us who the heck you are?
Yeah, Mike Perna with Keller Williams over in Michigan, Southeast Michigan. A couple of offices in Nova and Royal Oak. Sell the houses for the most part. Yeah, that's about it. That's all I got.
He sells.
So my best friend lives in Royal Oak.
Oh, no, I live in
Are they an
Clarkston,
agent? Do they
Karen.
want to be an agent? There's a
She
great
should
office
be an
in Royal Oak.
agent. You meet her, you fall in love with her. Like she should be an agent. It's unbelievable.
So, Mike, tell us about your team.
Okay, so we've got a little bit north of 20 agents right now, and we are hiring as hard as we can hire, as fast as we can hire. We have 2 closing coordinators, listing coordinator, 6 ISAs, 2 photographer runners, director of operations, director of sales, launch coach, and myself. That's
What do
the
you do
entire-
on the team?
I am support staff. I do not know what I do. They tell me what to do, and then I go do that.
He legit doesn't know what he does. Like, I'm not even kidding. No.
So
Mike,
that's a true story.
Mike will go and want to buy something for the team, and then he'll go to Vesta, who runs the team, and Vesta will say, no, we can't buy that.
That is that you nailed it. 100% nailed it.
No, it's totally true. Like, that's why she's there, to make sure he doesn't spend too much money. But Nick said, I need this. No, you don't need this right now. No.
But that's exactly how it works. You do say I need it, and then I want to go buy it, and then yeah.
But Mike, let's start off with how you get your day started. We want to talk about how successful people start the morning. I'm afraid that you're going to say, I'm afraid that you're going to say Fruit Loops and cartoons. And if you do, that's actually great. So how does your morning start? What time do you wake up? How do you get your mind ready? Because you're always in a good mood. Talk to us about that.
Well, that is fair. I do try to stay as positive as I can. I'm usually up somewhere between 4:45 and 5:15, somewhere in that range. I do practice a lot of the classic like Hell Elrod savers, get my exercise, my writing, setting my day up, getting mentally ready for the day. I try to stay off of Facebook as much as I can, especially in the morning, or any type of social media, until at least 6 or 7, until after I get all of that kind of done. I do have to give one shout out though. Jake Herbert, he's the productivity coach up in Rochester Market Center, Paint Creek. He does a Facebook Live every morning, and when I'm just not feeling it, I actually log in and watch him. If you haven't watched him, he's amazing.
Does he do it in a group or on his regular page?
He does that both on his regular page and in a group. So some days it's in the Paint Creek group, but most days it's on his regular page.
Jake is like an Olympic wrestler, so he's like,
this guy,
super motivated.
Does he have cauliflower ear?
No, but can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
I'm fascinated by cauliflower ear from wrestling. I'm fascinated by it my whole life.
Can I tell you a funny story about Jake? So we're in Bold together. It was me, Rob Chubb, Lindsay Sundin, Justin Oliver, all of the TLs in leadership in Michigan were in Bold. Jake brings like a plastic bag full of nails, like legit nails, like this long and probably this thick. And he's bending them at the table. And then he gives me one, and I'm like, hold on, I got this. Hold on, I got this. Like, he bent the nails. And it was just, and they're these long freaking nails. He just got them at Home Depot, and he just bends them. I'm like, dude.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's like super ripped.
That's awesome.
Yep, and he brings packaged foods because he eats really clean. Not packaged foods, he prepares like 17 meals, and he'll eat all of those during Bold.
Like an Olympic athlete would do.
Oh, yeah.
Like an Olympic athlete would do.
I played golf yesterday with a guy who played at US Open and Wimbledon. He was on my he was on my foursome for my golf outing yesterday. And I was like, dude, you played at Wimbledon? He's like, it didn't last long. But I'm like, you made it to Wimbledon. I mean.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. Okay, Michael, back to you, because I love that Nick brings on more bald men, because that's my thing. So that makes me really happy. Good Friday fix. What else do you do in the morning? So you go to work at what time, or do you go right now? Are you working from home? Are you going in the office?
Right now I'm largely working from home. I generally start work about 7:30.
Okay.
Right now, our single biggest need is bringing more talent on, bringing more agents in. So I actually start reviewing resumes, reviewing my calls, setting up my day, things like that. And then my goal there is right now I need to have 10 good conversations per day with new agents. So so that takes me like an hour to set all of that up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Directly after that, I jump on with leadership for 10 or 15 minutes. We do kind of a little bit of a huddle. And then we do a 9 a.m. Zoom every single morning with my team. Well, not Saturday, not Sunday, but 5 days a week, we're doing a power up. We're doing the 3Gs, gratitude, goals, and grit.
Love that.
Which Brady, he kind of led us into that. That was from one of Viha's Wednesdays, Ben Kenny leadership meetings. And we've really adopted that, and that's been just amazingly powerful. It's really hard to be, either down or pissed off when you're coming from gratitude.
You can't be mad and grateful at the same time.
That's the truth. I probably can't swear. I should probably, okay. Good point.
When I think about Mike, I'm actually mad and grateful at the same time. I'm just kidding, Mike.
I'm not. Hey, Michael, you can talk to me. Don't worry about Nick. Nick.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Okay, so what does the rest of the year look like?
And butterflies, man.
What does the rest of the year look like for your team? Like, what are you doing? How are you pivoting further to capture more market share? Because Nick and I say this almost every single episode. The gap is widening in the middle. The agents who are doing daily habits at the same thing every day successfully, that is who are taking more market share. The agents who are, sitting back and resigning to the market and to the shift, because it's not going away. This is going to continue. So what's your game plan for the last half of the year?
Yeah, I mean, in our game plan is we immediately moved to the place where we tripled our prospecting during shelter in place. And a lot of that was just, we had the time back because we weren't driving everywhere. We weren't driving to show homes. We weren't driving to listing appointments. We weren't doing any of those things. So for a lot of my guys, I was giving them a solid hour to 2.5 hours per day back that was originally being spent in the car. So might as well pick up the phone, make the care calls, do the prospecting, and really just try to set the rest of the year. So let me say this right. So when COVID started, we immediately pivoted to a daily Zoom.
Okay.
Our guys were making somewhere in the range of 15 dials per day, as an average for the agents across the board. Coming out of shelter in place, we were above 50, which is a huge shift for us. We focused first on dials, then we focused on, frankly, connects. Appointments held because it was a little harder with Zoom because the show up rate was going down, because especially listing appointments, right? Somebody could simply not log into a Zoom versus I know where you live and I'm going to be at your house.
Oh, you're right. True.
Show up rate went down a little bit. And then we ultimately focused on, for the last 3 weeks, just simply contracts of any kind. Get the listing contract signed, get the buyer HC agreement signed. Whether they were purchasing or selling at this exact moment didn't matter.
I agree.
Anytime,
yeah.
Get prepared. Yeah.
That's what I learned from the Loken group is they do something like just a pre-qual, like it's a form, because it's an emotional commitment, whether or not it's all the paperwork, but go ahead and sign this now. Like I'm committing to you, like you do when you buy a car. I'm in agreement to buy this car and I'll come back and do the paperwork later. I love just the emotional connection that way, no matter when they're going to do it.
Well, and that's the truth. And we use one that's very similar. Actually, the number one difference, if you look at theirs and ours, is really the logo at the top. Because I just took their logo off and put mine on.
Isn't this the most amazing company in the world, though, that you don't have to reinvent anything because there's somebody else doing it? That's what people who are born in KW, okay, in real estate, do not understand what it's like at other companies. They just don't, because the fact that everybody shares everything and the abundance around it, you're like, honestly, it's just my logo instead of theirs, because they probably sent it to you in Word form so you could modify it, and it's just so nice to hear that we just take advantage and not waste time of what we have in front of us.
Well, and that's the truth. And you know, it's a little bit different in this world because people come from the place of abundance instead of scarcity and victim. I mean, the Logans, and I cannot say enough great things about them. If you guys have not been, go to tlgshares.com. All of their stuff, and when I say all, I mean all of their stuff is in there. And that is one of the coolest things about this company is if I'm running into an issue or I want to try something marketing wise or whatever this looks like, the first, instead of actually trying it, the first thing I do is call somebody. You know, I call Lance or I call, you know, Via, or I call, you know, Nick or whatever that looks like and say, hey guys, have you thought of this before? And if not, who do you know that has? And where did they waste $100,000 before they got it right? And shortcut those mistakes, frankly.
Well, you know what? One of the things I admire about Mike is like, you know, listen, Mike has a team that does north of $100 million, right? I mean, I've never done north of $100 million in my sales team, but Mike will reach out to whoever if he thinks they have a great idea that could potentially help the team, right? So he'll text me, hey Nick, what was that thing that you said that was great? I'm going to try that, right? And like, I've never done the production that Mike has done. And so in order for someone at that level to reach out to someone who has never produced at that level, I think says a lot about, you know, the mindset and the people that you surround yourself with, because they don't feel like, oh, I'm doing this and he's not, so I'm better than him and I'm not going to ask him what he's doing because he's never been here. So I notice a lot of that, especially with our top teams in the company, that they'll reach out to anybody if they feel they can learn something from them.
Well, that's if you have a low ego to realize that there might be someone that does it better.
Right. That's true. So
not a low ego, but a humility. Yeah.
Hey, Mike, I have a quick question for you. So you might have to get a little vulnerable and transparent with us here. I know that this year your team is coming back in full force, like just crushing it, right? But your team, was it last year or the year before? You know, there was a little bit of a decline, and can you talk about like what happened as much as you can tell us, and then how you got back on track to push yourself north of 100, where I think that's what you're headed for, right?
Absolutely.
So,
we'll probably end up about 130, 140 million this year. And that's a great question. And you know, at the time it was extremely painful because I felt like I was losing people. That was about almost 2 years ago. In retrospect, I realized what it was. I was allowing myself to be held hostage by people that were in poor culture, people that, you know, I mean, it would be, you know, I say now to every recruit, hey, we've got a pretty strong no jerk policy.
Do you use the word jerk? Yeah,
I do. And everybody on my team who's watching this knows exactly what I'm talking about because I say it to everybody. And that's everybody. I mean, I don't care who you are in the organization, including clients. We have a no jerk policy. Simple enough. And for a while there, I was being held hostage. I think by the production that some people had, but they were pushing away culturally other people that could have been great.
Got it.
That makes sense. And it was a really hard thing to recruit too, because people would come in, see, frankly, our low culture, and then just push away from that and then go somewhere else.
That's at the market center level too. That's at market center level too, is that people that are high producers but are not in culture, but like, I'm a high producer. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter at all. Doesn't matter at all.
We had that happen when I was team leader. You know, there was an agent there that when I was making my calls and nurturing relationships, I had multiple people say, I would never work there because so-and-so's there. And I heard that 3 or 4 times. And I went to my OP, I'm like, well, there's 3 or 4 people saying this. There are more. I go, so we have to stop. Oh, like, let this person go. It's $18,000. We can triple, quadruple that. Because if this person's here and I'm hearing multiple times, who knows how many more are out there. I remember one time she fired one guy and she got phone calls from people saying, thank you for letting him go. That was holding you back, right? So you got to think, okay, it's not about losing the company dollar or on the team, you know, the equivalent. It's about letting that person go. And then that will triple, quadruple, you know, 4, 5, 6 times over because of that one toxic person.
And that's the truth. And even the effect on the people that are in the market center, on the market center level, or in the team on the team level. Like I've got, 4 agents that were there when my, let's say, high out of culture person finally exited the organization. Those 4 people are individually each doing more than my top producer of that time that left. Like it was like that person left, and all of a sudden they started showing back up at the office again. They started plugging in. They started attending meetings and being participatory, not just like throwing it on and or fake showing up and then going through their phone the whole time. Like they actually showed up. I mean, and that gap from that one person was immediately filled in 90 days, and then it just went up from there.
Well, I even noticed, Mike, like, in the last 6 to 9 months or so, the team is just so much more visible. Your social media presence is on point. Like you're in a better mood. Production is way up. And sometimes it is really just one person that holds the entire team of like 30 down, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
So it does really, it's a huge, and that's why our culture is so important, right? Like there could be, a $50 million producer, and if they're not in culture, it doesn't really, we don't want them,
Yeah.
We're just, people think KW hires everybody, but we don't hire everybody because I think the company as a whole has a no jerk policy. And as long as we all take on that no jerk policy, things are going to be so much better.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, what are your sellers and buyers looking for in real estate agents right now?
No, that's a great question. And just want to just make a clarity point in the last one. The whole culture situation, that was on me. I failed on that. And I failed on not holding the standard, having the right conversations. And I'm actually rereading a book called Radical Candor, which is great if you haven't read it. Just again, going through it one more time because I think it's exceptionally important. Right now, I think sellers are looking for 2 things. First one, they're looking for the way to at least our sellers are saying to us, they're looking for a way to diminish, like reduce the number of showings, because there's a little bit of fear and apprehension out there of people coming through the home, like hundreds of people coming through the home. Like fortunately, the message is out. Real estate is hot right now. There are a million people that want to go buy something.
Is Michigan essential?
We are essential now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, do we still we still can't do open houses, right?
We can do open houses again, max of 10 people.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're back to doing
houses. Yeah, before when we were essential, we couldn't do open houses and we can only have like 3 people in the house at a time. But I still think that, that's definitely, I mean, I always thought like at first we weren't essential and people were upset, but think about it. We are responsible for bringing strangers into homes, right? We got to think about that, right? And then once we became essential, you got to have a plan in place for that. So like you said, that's what sellers are afraid of. So what are you guys doing to like get in front of that?
Absolutely. And I'll say the whole non-essential piece of it was probably the best thing that's happened to our organization. It wasn't the reason why we can't, it was the reason why we must. And it gave us the time back to really skill up hard, work on the listing presentations, work on the buyer presentations, work on the scripting and the dialogue. It was an amazing period of time for us. So with the sellers, we have it set up very specifically because, with the NAR policy, there are no more real coming soons, but you can still put a property on the market 24 hours before showings. Fair enough?
Yeah.
So we're putting our properties on the market on Friday in the afternoon. We're holding all showings until the open house on Saturday. And then any showings that are happening after, we're trying to pull up to the open house, because I'm going to the sellers and saying, all right, guys, we're going to do some massive marketing, including, 3D tours, photos, all of it, in a way to dissuade buyers that are not as serious, or your home may not be the right fit. Now, everybody else, I'm going to try to pack into a 2-hour period to reduce the number of showings that are occurring on your property. The other added bonus of that is you've got 2, 3, 4 buyers plus the neighbors in the home at the same time. They're all looking at each other, and the one guy that loves the property is looking at the other 3 thinking, these are my competitors. I better bid fast. I better bid high.
I agree. I think it's going to also just bring, when you mention about the fewer, the better, and it's quality over quantity. And so it's a great opportunity to level up as an agent.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, I want to
Absolutely.
go back real quick to what you said about how it was kind of like a blessing in disguise, right? So I agree with you on that when we were non-essential, because listen, as agents, we have every excuse in the book as to why we can't attend a training, or we can't practice this, or we don't have time for that. And I feel like if you took that opportunity to now realize all the time that you have to get better at things, like you said, improve your listening consultation, brush up on your scripts, role play, make your care calls. Because when we were non-essential for how long was it? 2 months, maybe?
I think it was 43 days, 47 days.
Okay.
So, yeah.
If you took that opportunity, because people would say, oh, I can't work. That's incorrect. You can most definitely work. And
Yeah.
I think the agents that took that time to make the care calls and brush up and get better are now just seeing their business snowball, right? That's what I'm thinking. Do you agree with that?
100%. And I got to give it up to my leadership group. Between Vesta, Austin, Sadie, like they were just completely bought into, hey, this is a great opportunity. Let's move from a weekly meeting to a daily meeting. Let's stay in front of these guys, because one of my personal fears was, people would literally just sit there in yoga pants until 11 o'clock, maybe shower around 4 or 5, maybe that 1 or 12.
You have a camera in my house, Mike. You have a
I know,
camera
right?
in my house?
Yeah.
Michael, Nick will wear the same shirt. Like he'll wear it, sleep in it, and then wear it the next day.
Well, that was the shirt that he had on Wednesday when he was on the Zoom with me. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, but I'm not leaving the house. Who do I have to impress?
Well, I still put on like Bev
You-
Steiner.
wait a minute.
No.
You just interrupted Mike in the middle of gold. Go ahead, Mike.
No, but yeah, the intent. Thanks, Nick. But the intention of like the intentionality behind the morning was so important, and people didn't have okay, I'm going to drive to the office and then that's work time, and then I'm going to drive back home and that's home time. All of a sudden, they had we had kids foisted on us. We had we weren't leaving the house. All of those things that were just battling our mindset, and we were like, okay, what can we do as a pattern interrupt to move it forward? To say this is work time. And we landed on the daily Zoom, and everybody got behind it, and it was amazing.
We have an agent that wears her capper hat so her kids know when she's at work.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like it's so cute that they're like, oh, mom has her KW hat on, so therefore I'm going to go ahead and go to work. But Bev Steiner posted in a women's group page, and she's like, I think it was Bev, and she said, what do you still do? I still put on perfume. I'm like, I do too every day. I do too. I think routine of like getting up and showering and getting to work, for me, not for Nick, because he has little kids, so I don't. So our lives are very, very different. But I can't speak to that at all. Thank God. But I do find that me getting up, getting dressed, ready for the day, I am because I don't have to stop in the middle of the day and go do it. I mean, when I'm at work, I'm at my computer by 7:30 every day. I'm at work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, are you still doing those daily Zoom calls? Are you going to keep those going?
Every single day. And I will say, guys, anybody that's watching this that wants to join in on one, we've got guests all the time. People will jump in. We've had teams out in Grand Rapids jump on. Please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Send me a message, send me a text, whatever that looks like. If you want to either join the Power Up for yourself or join it to see what we're doing and bring that back to your team, whatever that looks like, we are 100% open. 100% open.
That's interesting. I'm sure that you must have sent me that link to invite me a few times, but I think I might have gotten lost in.
I know. Did mine get sent to spam?
Yeah.
Oh, it must have.
Let me check and see if it came in, because I think maybe you probably did several times. I mean, knowing that we're really good friends, I can't imagine that you wouldn't, but I'll check, Mike. If
No. Let us make no mistake. We are no longer friends. You and I, no.
Oh, actually, it's my fault, because I.
No, I did. Hey, I will say this. Hey, I've got verification from Ken Posick that I am in the right on this. The Green Lantern was not a good movie.
I didn't say that it was a good movie.
No, you said it wasn't as bad as you remembered, which is therefore saying it was good.
No, it's not. I said I watched The Green Lantern a couple weeks ago, and with Ryan Reynolds, and it wasn't as bad as I remembered. I didn't say that it was good. I said it wasn't as bad as I remember. When you sit down and you watch The Green Lantern, it's entertaining.
I feel like you can quote the whole movie. I do.
What?
I feel like you can quote the whole movie. Like you could probably perform the whole thing right now.
I saw it once when it came out, and then it's on HBO Max, and I watched it again like 2 weeks ago. It's not. By the way, The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, not a good movie, but when you're watching it with your 8-year-old, really fun.
Okay, that's fair. I'll give you that on the Spider-Man. We will agree to disagree on the Green Lantern. It was as bad today as it was then, if not worse.
Sheila Morrison says I need a shovel. That's probably true. I'm digging myself into a deeper hole. That's good, Sheila. Good one. But no, you know what, Mike? We can be friends again if you'll have me back.
Yeah. Is that, by the way, is that why your camera's positioned where it is? Like I can see the three things on the wall over your left shoulder. Is the Green Lantern the fourth one?
No, I think it's on the bottom right-hand corner, isn't it? Like
those
books.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
No, this is Hulk.
Yeah. Not the Daredevil, not Ryan. There it is.
That's Hulk.
I love that.
No, let me show you.
What's it like in 5, Nick? What's it like?
This is the Flash. These are watercolor paintings, Superman and Batman. And then over here, I have Iron Man, the Hulk, and Captain America. And I have little like figurines around my office. I got Batman's, I got Spider-Man's, Captain Marvel.
Can I ask a question, Michael, that I'd like to hear from Michael? Were you in Gary's mastermind yesterday? Because I wasn't able to attend because I had a prior commitment.
Yeah, your commitment was yesterday? That's okay.
What did you learn? What did you learn?
Couple of things. One, I learned how to use, and thank you, Nick, for doing that video with Jason. That's going to be going out to everybody. I learned how to use command a little bit better as far as finding out where people are coming from to move into Metro Detroit, which was awesome. Which is an awesome part of Kelly, and you can go in there and actually do that right now, which is so cool.
Yep.
One of the things that I really liked was Gary, it kind of an aha for me, mentioning about market share. The agents that are doing 2, 3, 4, 5 deals a year, a lot of those guys are exiting from the market or have just sat back and said, okay, I'm just going to hold for 6 months. And that's giving other people that are still doing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 deals a year the ability to go do 12 or even 15. It's a huge opportunity because buyers want to buy and sellers want to sell. And even more so, I mean, we saw in Inman News and we saw in a couple of other periodicals, real estate sales are up 20% year over year for June. So the opportunity is there, but a lot of people are just choosing to opt out, right? Here in Michigan, it's closer to 40%, right? I mean, look at our own team. We did 66 units last month. We're training for a little bit over 70 this month, which for us is a huge boost, which is amazing.
Wow, that's enormous, dude.
We've got guys that usually do 3 or 4 deals a month. They're doing 8, 9, 10, which is awesome. Make hay while the sun shines. Take advantage of this now. Now is the time. Not 6 months from now, not 30 days from now, today. Wake up today, make 10 calls today into your sphere and say just very simple. Hey, I was thinking about you. Is there anything I can do to help in this during this time? That's it. Just something, reconnect with people. That's it.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love when you feel, I think part of reason why we love mastermind too is we're making sure we're valid and we're on point and we're doing what we should be doing. So you can go back and go, hey, stay on track. We're doing it right. Let's keep going.
Yeah. And that's exactly right. And I do want to give just a quick shout out to Sarita. It is her birthday today. So I want to wish her a happy birthday. I know she's probably asleep because she's on the West Coast, but she's one of my favorites. She did a really great job. She actually came in and spoke to one of my group a couple of months back towards the beginning of the year. Her parents live here in Michigan, which is very cool. Actually right up the road. But she talked a lot about that buyer presentation and then how she does it virtually, but this is way before COVID. And that was a huge light bulb for me of doing those virtually, getting the signatures, because our value is not in opening a door. Our value is in the advice we give, getting people into a house. I mean, seriously, like with the multiple offer situations right now, getting the house is the job.
Right.
You know
Do
what I
you
mean?
guys do curb offers there? Because like when I was in Denver selling real estate, it was such a hot market. And we would get 30, 40, 50 offers. So we were doing curb offers all the time. And I just talked about it here in Chicago suburbs where I am. And a few people are like, oh, that they call it something else. But, that's what I called it. And a lot of people are like, what? I'm like, oh my gosh, if you want to win, like just write the offer, get it done.
Yep, write the offer right now. Yep, yep. And with DocuSign, literally, like, oh, you like the home? Great. While we're in the kitchen, let me pull up writing an offer on my phone and let's DocuSign it right now. Pull out your phone. Absolutely.
Yeah, Mike, I agree with that in the sense that like a lot of agents are afraid to ask this question, right? So when you do the buyer consultation and you're finding out their needs, and then you go out and you see homes, and you are in that home or you leave that home and you're standing on the sidewalk, if you're not saying, is this a house that you would like to pursue, or is this a house that you would like to make an offer on? If they say no, you say, okay, based on our initial conversation, I showed you this house because it did have some features that you said were a necessity or that you definitely needed. What about it did you not like? So I don't ever show you a house like this again. Because if they're not going to make an offer on a house like that, you need to figure out why. Because if you did your consultation the right way, it should have been a slam dunk.
Absolutely.
Right? So ask, don't be afraid. Is this the house? Well, when Tristan and I would talk to Ryan Serhant, he says, is this a property you would pursue? Is this a property to make an offer on? Because pursue makes it sound less salesy. Is this a property you would pursue? If not, find out why.
I always did it like an eye doctor. Like we'd go to the second house and go, great, A or B. B, awesome. A's out next.
Yep.
Then B and C. Great. C's out next. So it's, and just go down the list. So I'd say I'm going to email you 20. You're going to drive by your top 10. And then I'm going to show you your favorite 5. Like boom, and my lender partner was the one who gave that script too. So all my vendors were on the same conversation as I was. So they kept hearing it over and over again.
Yeah, no, and absolutely. And we've been as strong as to say, all right, is this a home that we want to make an offer on? No. Okay. If I called you in 2 hours and said the home went off the market, on a scale of 1 to 10, how upset would you be?
Oh, that's a good
great.
question.
We need to make an offer now because when I close this door, it will probably go. It will probably just be gone.
Right. You're actually like holding the property for 10 minutes. That's it. That's sure. I'd say, are you okay with somebody else sleeping in your house? Like
Yes.
when you know that it's their house, but they don't know it yet. Are you okay with that?
Yeah. Or someone says, oh, let me sleep on it. Well, based on the market stats, you're not going to have time to do that. So if you slept on it and you woke up the next day and it was gone, how would you feel? I love it. Sometimes, dude, my best clients are the ones I'm brutally honest with.
Yes.
Brutally honest with.
Oh, home inspection? Too. I would say if the sellers choose to not fix anything, do you still want to buy the home? Just let me know where you stand. I just want to know.
Yep.
Right.
No, that's a great point.
If the sellers won't fix this, would you still proceed? No? Great. Then let's just, But here's the thing. You have to be brutally honest because if they're working with someone who is wishy-washy and then the client takes control of the situation, what happens is the client then gets frustrated because you're not guiding them, right? If they start to see too many homes, statistically speaking, if they see more than 10, they're less likely to buy. So really start honing that in every time you show a house. So,
and you're absolutely right. And then the other question that we got into the practice of asking is, hey, all right, this house is on the market for $300,000. Do you want to make an offer on it? Well, no. Well, would you buy it at $275,000? Well, yeah, because I'd be able to do A, B, and C. Great, let's write that offer.
Ooh, good. That was click. Boom. All right. Hey, we're going to let him go. He's probably behind on his power-ups. Michael, it was a pleasure. You were an awesome end for the week. So thank you for spending time with us today. I got to play another song for you, though. I got to play a song. Nick?
Wait, hold on a second. I want to make up with Mike in front of everyone watching. Mike.
Hold on. Let me find the music. Hold on.
I want to admit to you.
Hold on.
I want to admit to Mike. And listen, Mike is a leader, and he owned the fact that culture on his team may not have been at the highest level because of him. And that's what leaders do. I'm going to admit that Green Lantern is not a good movie. Can we be friends again? I'm admitting that's very hard for me to do. Can we be friends again?
We could be friends. We can be friends. And if Ken Posick is watching, I'm gonna need an outside voice on sincerity on that one, on the Green Lantern piece. And I do have my Ken Posick shoes on, by the way.
Wait, are those Ken Posick? Are those like legit? Did he send those to you, or is it the ones he wears?
No, those are the ones he wears. I totally saw them. He posted them, and like 10 minutes later, they were on the way. They were on the way. They were ordered. Yeah.
What are those? What are those?
Adidas?
Oh, those are Adidas? Okay, I missed it. All right, I have a song to play for Michael for his out because I know who he likes now.
All right, what is it?
Well, I got to get a little more beat in this one. Nope. Who's this? Who's this, Michael?
You know I'm back, like I never left. Another sprint, another step, another day, another breath.
All right. Oh my God, are you doing a TikTok dance right now? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a great night.
Thanks, guys.